Hola, bienvenidos. That means hello and welcome to our distance learning third grade classroom. I am your teacher and host, Mr. Ritenour, and we are going to kick things off today with a little video from our very own Carson Smalley doing a homemade science experiment. There's nothing that I love more than homemade science experiments. So Carson's used milk and he's put some food coloring in. It looks like he's experiencing the same problems I have when opening food coloring. Feels like it twists, but it just pops. Different colors. I'm so excited. I already know what's gonna happen.
Angle.
I bet you have some guesses on what you think might happen too. Nice. Put some yellow on there. Alright, Q-tip, and that's dish soap.
What's in there? That's cool. What's in there?
There it is.
Wow.
Do the other one and then dab it.
That is so cool, Carson. So milk, food coloring, a Q-tip, and some dish soap, and you can do the same thing at home. Really cool. Thank you so much for sharing, Carson. That is awesome. All right, folks. Well, we're going to jump straight into our common sense lesson for today. Now, today is a two-part lesson. One part is for the girls, the gals, and another part is for the boys, the men. All right, so let's start with the ladies. Boys, you can just close your ears if you want. Girls, always cross your legs when you're wearing a dress or a skirt. All right, that's being a lady. Okay, so practice at home whenever you're sitting. Cross your legs. All right, we don't want to see any underwear. Boys, your turn. Lesson 38. Gentlemen, always offer your seat up to a lady or an elder, that means someone who's older than you, before sitting down. A real man will stand until everyone else has a chair. All right, so you're young, you are healthy, you do not need to sit if there's someone else who could be sitting in your seat that needs it. So two examples here. The world is full of guys, be a man, right? I will always telling you that, boys. All right, be a gentleman. Now, I like this picture. It says, give up your seat to someone carrying something more important. And if you look here, this is a boy, and in his belly, he's got chicken. Then there's this pregnant mom who in her belly has a baby. All right, see how she's standing up on a subway or something? She could easily get knocked down and fall, and bad things could happen. Meanwhile, this boy he's got no reason not to be standing. He's just got a belly full of chicken, not an actual human being. So that's the lesson, boys. Give up your seat to those who need it more, whether it's a pregnant woman or even just a regular lady who's not pregnant or an old person. It is really important that as a gentleman, you make sure everyone else has a seat before you do. All right, so girls, cross your legs. Boys, don't be selfish. Give up your seat if someone else needs it. That's your common sense lesson for today. Now let's move on to some math. So while I pull up our math page, make sure you have your Go Math book, and you're also going to want to be open to page 721. All right, so far we have covered 4 different lessons. All right, 4 lessons all on geometry. In each lesson, we learn some vocabulary, some important words that we need to know as mathematicians. Today, we're going to find out how well you remember and how well you've learned these things, okay? So normally we do this mid-chapter checkpoint individually on our own, and I would grade it. But since we're doing distance learning, we are going to go through these problems together. I challenge you to try to answer them before I write the answer down, okay? All right, so I'm going to be calling on you some point during this lesson. Let's just start with the vocab section, all right? It says choose the best term, that means word, from the box right here to complete the sentence. So each one of these 3 questions is going to have an answer somewhere in this box. I've seen students write answers that aren't even in the box before, and that always blows my mind. Number 1, Anne. Well, first of all, do you see the word "and" right here? "And" only comes before words that start with a vowel sound. So basically, just from knowing grammar, you can eliminate point, polygon, and right angle. So you know that number 1 has to be angle without even knowing anything about math, right? That's just a trick that good test takers already know. But let's just make sure that angle makes sense, okay? Let's plug it in. An angle is formed by 2 rays that share an endpoint. So 2 rays that share an endpoint would look something like this. There's one. There's another. These guys share an endpoint right there. We call this an angle, right? This is a corner known as a vertex. Every single corner or vertex has an angle. So number 1 is angle. All right, number 2. A blank is a closed plane shape made up of line segments. Another name for line segments are straight lines. So which word means closed and straight lines? What do you think, Jasper? Well, we've already gotten rid of angle. Point, polygon, or right angle? Very good. It is a polygon. Good job, Jasper. A polygon has straight sides and it's closed. Okay? So we have 1 question left, but 2 words left. Let's see which one makes the most sense. Evan, you're up. A blank forms a square corner. Blank forms a square corner. So if I have a square and I look at this corner, what is that? Is that a point or a right angle? What do you think, Evan? Yeah, that's a right angle. So I'm just going to write R dot angle. That's good enough for me. Good job, Evan. So vocab, cha-ching. Good work. Moving on. Time for concepts and skills. Use the corners, blah, 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 blah. We don't need to do that. Is it going to be a right angle? Less than a right angle, which we know is an acute angle. Or greater than a right angle, which is an obtuse. Notice how I like you to write obtuse and acute rather than greater than or less than. Here's why. Because as soon as you graduate 3rd grade, no one ever says less than or greater than about angles ever again. It's always either right, acute, obtuse, or sometimes we have what we call straight angles, which I think I showed you. I think I showed you this before. It looks like kind of like this. It's basically a straight line, right? Because the angle is 180 degrees. That's called a straight angle. But we don't say less than, greater than anymore once you get past 3rd grade. So I'm not going to have you really focus on that. I want you to use the actual math words you're going to be using in the future. All right, number 4, London. Look at that angle right there, that blue angle. Okay, is it a right angle? No, it's not a perfect corner, right? It's not a square corner. Is it less than a right angle? Well, Yeah, right, London? It's definitely less. If it was a right angle, it would be like that. If it was more than a right angle, it would have to be something like that. So we know this is less than. Another name for that, London, is a cute little angle. Good job. All right, Sophie, you're up. So look at that blue square in the corner. It pretty much answers it for you. That blue square in the corner tells us that it is just right. It's kind of like the three little bears in Goldilocks. Just right. All right. Bobby, you're up. Look at that blue angle right here. Looks kind of like a right angle, but we know it's not, or else it would have something like this, Bobby. It'd have like a square in it, and it doesn't. So, is it less than or greater than a right angle? Yeah, it's greater than. We know greater than means obtuse. Way to go, Roberto. Obtuse. All right, now we can move on to the next set of questions, all about writing the number of sides and the number of angles. Ooh, this is important, folks. This is the kind of directions that young Mr. R would have missed because he was so stinking bad at reading directions. He would just rush through tests and miss so many points. Even though he was smart, he was also at the same time very dumb. So, wisdom, common sense, lesson number 3 today, read the directions carefully. We have to name the polygon after we're done, folks. So let's count the number of sides. We're going to have the same number of angles, but we'll count them just for fun, and then we can figure out what kind of polygon. So I left off with Bobby, which means Lucas, you're up. So Lucas, count the sides. Did you get 6? All right, let's count the angles. I'm going to put a smiley face on each angle. Okay, each corner is where there's an angle. Did you also get 6 again? All right, Lucas. 6 sides, 6 angles. That polygon is, you got it, hexagon. And I always tell students, think about the number 6. It has a unique letter in it, an X. Hexagon is the only shape I know that also has an X in it. So hex 6. Numero ocho, number 8. Patina, you're up. How many sides does that shape have, Patina? Did you get 4? Good job. How many angles? Once again, 4. All right, Bettina. 4 sides, 4 angles. What do we call all 4-sided shapes? Don't tell me that's a trapezoid, because you would be even more right. I know, weird. It is a quadrilateral. Now, if you wrote trapezoid, your teacher, Mr. R, would definitely not mark that wrong. But I'm not the teacher that grades your PSSA tests, or whenever you get older, I won't be the guy that's grading your SAT tests, all right? You've got to sometimes play the game to whoever created the game, all right? So for me, my game is always as honest as possible. If you wrote trapezoid, I'm like, woohoo, that's actually even better than quadrilateral because it's a specific type of quadrilateral. However, if you're playing the Go Math game and you know that you haven't even learned what a trapezoid is yet, then you should, if you're smart at playing the game, know that that just means a 4-sided shape and you're going to write quadrilateral. Okay? I know it's silly that we have to play games now, but that is literally school in a nutshell, playing the game. So, as much as I hate it, we all have to do it sometimes. Okay, now that you've listened to me rant about how much I hate school games, let's move on to Cody. How many sides does number 9 have? Did you get? 5? Nice. How many angles? Also 5. So Cody, 5 sides, 5 angles. What kind of polygon is that? A pentagon. Good job. All right, it's hard to believe it, but we're halfway done. Popovich, you know what song I'm going to sing, all right? Have your mom tune in because you know it's her favorite song. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, living on go math. All right, number 10. Annie drew, I don't know why I said Annie, there's no I. Anne drew the shape at the right. Is her shape an open shape or a closed shape? Well, first of all, I just can't resist. Maybe you're like me and you see that shape and you just can't resist doodling on it. I know I have issues. Let's add some bows. Oh my goodness. Look at that. For $1,000, what did I draw? Who's up next? Peyton Fisher. That is a kite. Anyone want to watch Mary Poppins? Let's go fly a kite up to the highest height. So I haven't even seen the new Mary Poppins yet. I should. I wasn't in love with the original, but my mom loved it. She loved your parents would know the name. The original Mary Poppins, she was also in The Sound of Music. I just can't remember her name, but my mom loved both those movies, and she would always force me to watch them with her. So, oh, now I miss my mom. I haven't been able to see her really at all. So, okay, snap out of it, Caleb. Focus. What shape is that? Well, it's a kite. Literally, we call four-sided shapes that look like that kites. But the question was, is it open or closed? Well, this was a simple answer. I did not need to waste so much time. This is an open, right? Psych! Nope, it's not. Very good, fish. You knew the answer this whole time and you're just waiting for me to move on. It was a closed shape. You cannot get into that shape, right? It's blocked on all sides. It comes together on all 4 sides. Okay, going deeper. This sign tells drivers that there's a steep hill ahead. Write the number of sides, the number of angles, then name the shape. So how many sides does it have, Doobie? Good, Jacob. 4 sides. How many angles, Doobie? I'm going to do stars this time. 4 corners, 4 angles. So, Jacob, what is this shape called? Be as general as possible. Don't tell me square. It is good. A quadrilateral. If you just want to write quad, that's fine for right now. I don't care. That's good. Number 12. Good job, Jacob. Emily, you're up. Why is this closed shape not a polygon? Because why, Emily? Because it has what kind of sides? Good. Because it has curved sides. And we know all polygons have to have straight sides. All right, that looks like seen, but it's actually Sean. All right, I promise. Sean drew a shape with 2 fewer sides than an octagon. Which shape did he draw? Willow, you're up. We have to know how many sides an octagon has, right, Willow? So what if I drew one for you? If I drew an octagon, all right, count up the sides. I've got how many? Good, Willow. Octa means 8. All right, so an octagon has 8 sides. If he drew 2 fewer than that, well, now we got a simple subtraction problem. 8 minus 2 is, Willow? Good. 6. What do we call a 6-sided shape? What do we call that? 6 sides. Looks like this. It is a hexagon. Good job, Willow. That was a 2-part question. You have to subtract before you can get the answer. All right, last question. Johnny boy. So Johnny in this case is Michael. Michael drew a polygon with 2 lines that meet to form a right angle. Circle the words that describe the line segments. So let's just draw a picture of that, okay? So here's one line. Well, that was bad. Undo. Here's one line, and here is the other. They form a beautiful, just perfect right angle, right? That's what that is right there, a right angle. Let me look at my options. Is it intersecting, curved, parallel, perpendicular? Which one can we just get rid of right off the bat, Michael? Good. Curved makes no sense because these are straight lines. They're line segments. Good work, Michael. All right, Carson, there's another one that we can probably get rid of quickly, all right? Because we know one of those words means this right here. The two lines will never, ever touch. They're always going to be the same distance apart, no matter how far you take them. Which word means that? Good. Parallel means that. So we can get rid of that. Good job, Carson. Now, Wiley, is this corner right here, is this intersecting? Are they going to cross? You betcha they are. You betcha. If I were to keep these lines going, they absolutely are going to cross right there, okay? So they're definitely intersecting. Let me circle that one. Now, perpendicular, Wiley. It means that they cross or intersect at a right angle. Well, look at that blue box. That's a perfect corner, which tells us it's a right angle. So not only are these intersecting, but they're also, good, Mr. Shep, perpendicular. Well done, boys and girls. Please, 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 please lock all this stuff in your brain, all right? Because it's not going away. These geometry terms, they are always, always, always going to come back every single year, even whenever you're in high school geometry. You need to know things like closed or open. You need to know the names of your shapes. All right. And then even whenever you're an adult like me, there are times where I need to know if certain things are perpendicular or parallel. All right. Because geometry is actually all around us in our world. Okay. Now's the time for you to either take a break if you want, or you can stick with us for some reading. Whatever you want. If you're taking a break, pause and come back later. We are going to move on to some reading, okay? So yesterday we talked about a reading word, a specific type of reading skill. The definition was when you use clues from what you've read to make an educated guess about something or someone without being told. That is called making an, what do you think, boys? Making an girls? Good, an inference. We make inferences all the time, all right? Sometimes we call it inferring, all right? It's the same thing as making an inference. So we infer people's emotions. Yesterday I gave you the example of the cute little dog and the cat. We were able to infer that the dog was sad and the cat was hungry, right? Authors don't always tell us things. We have to figure them out by inferring. So let's do two quick examples. The first one, all right, I'm going to roll the dice. If it's your table, go ahead and answer it. A third grader who just moved to Mercer comes to school on the first day wearing a Phillies hat and an Eagles jersey. This one might be tricky if you don't know your sports teams. So I get that. If some of you are scratching your heads, I get that. But pay attention to this word right here. That might help you, right? A Phillies hat and an Eagles jersey. What can you infer about that third grader? Let's roll the dice. Nemo. Let's see. Nemo, who's all sits at Nemo table? Evan, right? All these marking periods are blending together in my mind. Wait, no, maybe not Evan. Wait, maybe Evan does sit there. I can't remember. You know Evan. I know that Michael sits there, and oh my gosh, why can't I picture everyone that sits at Nemo? if you sit at Nemo, all right, I can't remember everyone that sits there because all of the marking periods are blending together in my head. Answer this question. You can infer that the third grader came from Philadelphia. Why else would someone wear a Phillies hat and an Eagles? That's the football team from Philadelphia. Why would they wear that in the first day of school? Well, if they own that, chances are that they're from Eastern Pennsylvania or Philadelphia. Okay, they might not be, but that would be a good inference to make. All right, sorry Nemo, I can't remember who else sits there. I'm like losing my mind, I think. Next question. Make an inference. Your neighbor's car hasn't been in the driveway all week. When you finally see him at home, he has a terrible sunburn. What inference can you draw? No car all week. He's got a sunburn when you see him. Let's see. Roll the dice. Nemo again. I'm re-rolling. Monsters. Well, you went yesterday, so I'm going to re-roll. Wild card. Toy Story. Well, I know one thing. Nobody sits at Toy Story. That leaves me with Lion King or Incredibles. Incredibles. There we go. So, Incredibles. This is my girls' table. I've got Emily, Sophie, Patina, and you know what? Actually, no, Patina doesn't sit there. Does she? I can't remember. Emily, Sophie, London, and there's someone else that sits there. No, I can't remember. Wait, maybe it's Smalley. Smalley sits there, and Patina sits at. Oh my gosh, I'm starting to remember. Patina sits at Nemo. Oh man, it's all coming back to me now. What can we infer? Yeah, he went on vacation to specifically somewhere warm, right? Probably the beach. That's what you think of when you think of a terrible sunburn. All right, so sorry that I butchered your tables. That means I messed up who sits at each table. I hope you forgive me. Please forgive me, boys and girls. I need to make a seating chart to refresh my memory. All I can picture are your faces, not where you sit. All right, so in order to meet third grade requirements, we are going to do this quick two-page practice from the Storytown book. All right, so if you'd like to read along with me out loud, you may. Life on the farm. Hopefully you moved too. Have you ever heard the sound of a rooster summoning a farmer to the day? What noise does a rooster make? Good job, Willow. I know that you did. The cock-a-doodle-doo really loud, so. Summoning, huh? Let's pause here. What does the word summoning mean? Well, summoning a rooster or summoning, like you got summoned to the principal's office. Yeah, summoning means to be asked to go somewhere, all right? So the farmer is asked to start his day by the rooster. Keep reading. Farmers always have a lot of work to do, so they don't think the rooster's call is a nuisance. Sometimes we might think of our brothers and sisters as a bit of a nuisance. When you got a rock in your shoe, it might be a nuisance. The word nuisance means, yeah, a pain in the butt. So farmers don't think that the rooster's call is a nuisance, right? Because they need to get to work. It's actually not a bad thing that they have to wake up early. Keep reading. They don't have time to be sedentary. There's too much work to do. So someone that's up and about working all the time is the opposite of sedentary. What do you think it means? Yeah, sedentary means that you're sitting down in one spot, okay? Now, not all sedentary people are lazy, I'll give you an example, all right? My dad, he works on a computer all day long, all right? He's actually retired now, but he worked on a computer all day long when I was a kid, all right? He was a very sedentary person, all right? Not that he was lazy because he worked really hard, but he was stuck in one place all day, right? There wasn't much getting up and moving about in his job. Okay, let's keep reading. The kind of work that farmers do depends on the kind of farm they have. Some farmers raise crops, others raise animals. And that's a beautiful thing here at Mercer is we've got a lot of farming families. I've had plenty of students who have different types of farms, whether they're growing corn or soy, or whether they're raising animals like at a dairy farm with cows. All right, let's read this caption down here in green. All right, it looks like it's right above the cow's nose. Ready? The cow is ready to be milked. The farmer is glad to oblige. Oblige is a word that means agree. All right? It's kind of an old time word that we don't see or use very often anymore that used to get used a lot. So if I asked you to help me out and you said that you will oblige, it means that you agree to help me out, okay? All right, next page. Read along with me here at the top. Farmers who raise crops may grow grains, vegetables, or fruits. They make sure the plants get water to help them grow. After a good harvest, there is little time for boasting. It's time to plant the next year's crop. Pause. Boasting. It's a word that means something very similar to what sore winners do whenever they win. Think about if someone wins, it's a sore winner, they would brag, right? Bragging and boasting are the same thing. All right. Now, boasting is a little less negative of a word. Like, there are situations where boasting is actually not a bad thing, where bragging is almost always a bad thing, right? Boasting could mean like, you got an A on a test. You boasted your A up on the refrigerator, right? There's nothing wrong with sharing that you did something great. That's boasting. All right. It's whenever you're like, haha, I got an A and you got an F. Ha, you're stupid. That would not be boasting anymore. That would be bragging, and that's bad. Okay. All right. Last paragraph here. Read along with me. Other farmers raise cows, pigs, or chickens. They feed and care for the animals. They keep barns and shelters clean so their animals will be safe and healthy. Good job. So some of you might even have chickens at home. So think about it. Technically, you're a farmer if you have a chicken and you have to keep your chicken coop clean and feed your animals, right? You might not think of yourself as a farmer, but you are. Okay, so before we move on, we're gonna finish off with this little green caption underneath that wheat field, all right? Everyone, let's read along together. Ready? When a wheat crop grows tall and healthy, it will sway in the breeze. Sway. Well, I'm swaying right now. If you look in the bottom corner, you can see my head swaying. All right, swaying means to gently move back and forth. Well done, boys and girls. We are now officially done with day 2 this week of reading. And that leaves us with 2 things left, writing and grammar. So I'm going to go back to my smartboard here. I need you to get a piece of paper, could be scrap paper, notebook, whatever, and a pencil or pen. All right. Pause it if you need more time. Today you're going to write about 4 to 5 sentences on this question. Write about one thing you miss most about going to school. I'll read the question one more time. Write about the one thing you miss most about going to school. And I'm going to fix this really quick because I made a mistake. There we go. So pause this video, and in 4 to 5 sentences, I want you to choose that one thing you miss most about school. All right? Don't forget to indent the very first sentence. Use your thumb, stick it down, start a little bit inside the red line, Whenever you're all done writing, come back and I will share with you my answer, okay? So pause the video now. Happy writing. I hope that you were able to think of something that you missed the most and you were able to give me some details about why you missed that thing, or maybe it's that person. Um, I am going to share with you my answer. I wish that I could see your answers. Um, of course, what you could do, if your mom or dad is willing, you could always take a picture of it and have them send it to me on Class Dojo. If not, it's no big deal at all. If you're not particularly excited about your answer, then you don't need to share it if you don't want. But if you do really like your answer, if you really want me to read it, I would be happy to read it if you send it to me or your parents send it to me on Class Dojo. Whatever you want, folks. I'm going to share with you my answer now, all right? So my answer is a little bit longer than 5 sentences. I couldn't help myself. Here's what I wrote. The one thing I miss most about school is the students. Pause for a second. Do you see how I used the question in my answer? One thing I miss most about school. That's right here. One thing you miss most about school. Okay? All right. My class family means more to me than anything else at school. This is kind of like citing evidence, all right? You guys, my class family, is the citation for why I miss, or what I miss the most about school. I love Wednesday evening powwows on Google Meet, but that'll never replace the memories made together in room 304. This is like my elaboration in the ACE method. I'm elaborating. Even though I love Google Meet, it will never replace the memories that we made together in room 304. Now I'm going to keep elaborating a lot more, so I'm just going to read now and stop highlighting. Remember that time Bobby played kickball with his RC car? How about the time I pierced my ears with all those binder clips? What about that time when we made slime and Michael couldn't get it off his desk and we almost missed the bus? Looking back on our year so far makes me feel two things simultaneously, a word that means at the same time. First, I feel robbed. A quarter, or 1/4, of our time together will probably be stolen by the coronavirus. The second feeling is much more powerful. Blessed. I am grateful for each one of my students in so many unique, special ways. Although our time together is from a distance now, I cherish that we will always have a third grade experience unlike any other in history. Okay, boys and girls, I meant every word of that. I miss you guys so much. And before I start to get emotional, we are going to move on and switch gears to our last activity for today. Grammar. Your favorite. Right, Jasper? That's your favorite. Just kidding. Love math. All right, number 1. Insert the correct commas and quotation marks in this dialogue. Juan warned, make sure you lock your bike. So, Jasper, I'm on you. Juan warned, comma, good. Make sure you lock your bike. That's what he's saying, so the quotes go around that. Evan, you're up. That's good advice, Brian agreed. So Brian is saying that's good advice. We need a comma to show that he's done talking, and quotes around that's good advice. Brian agreed. Nice, Evan. Number 2, choose the words that match the underlined word in the sentence. London. Think about it. It's rare to find a friend who will get up early and walk in the morning. Totally. Choose the words, London. So 2 of those, at least. It's rare. Unusual would be rare, right? It's common. No, that means the opposite. It's everyday. Once again, no. It's uncommon. Good job, London. So rare means unusual or uncommon. Number 3, the word it apostrophe s is a contraction for it is or it has. The word it's without an apostrophe is a possessive pronoun. Right? I used to forget this all the time in my writing in high school, and I would get punished for it. So you see this little apostrophe? That tells you that it means 2 words. Normally, apostrophes tell us what? Yeah, possession, ownership. So this is actually the opposite of the rule here. The apostrophe does not mean possessive. It means 2 words, it is or it has. Whenever you have no apostrophe, you're actually showing possession. All right. So its ears, right? Like the dog's ears, its ears would be it without an apostrophe. Okay. Which word makes the most sense in this sentence? Sophie. The bear cub stayed with its mother. So which one of those shows possession? Good job, Sophie. It with an S at the end, because the other one would mean the bear cub stayed with its mother. That's what this one means. And that makes no sense at all. So definitely not that one. All right, let's keep moving here. Number 4, draw a line to match the expression with its meaning. I love these questions. Bobby, you've got the first one. Jalen didn't think painting the fence would be a bed of roses. So do you think that means everything you imagine and more, easy, or very frightened? That one's tricky. Do you think so too, Bobby? Because I think it is. I think we might need to read the next ones to really understand and find the perfect answer. All right. So I'll come back to you, Bobby. Lucas, this is no time to get cold feet, he warned. Cold feet. What do you think, Lucas? Well, just like I told Bobby, let's read the next one and then we can come back to you, okay? So, Bettina, Chelsea's birthday party was really over the top. Well, over the top. I think, Bettina, you can answer yours right away, right? A birthday party was really over the top probably means that the birthday party was everything you imagine and more, right, Bettina? So let's go back to Bobby and Lucas here. Which one do you think means a bed of roses? Jalen didn't think painting the fence would be very frightened or easy, Bobby. I agree. Painting the fence would be very easy makes the most sense. So bed of roses means easy. This is no time to get cold feet, Lucas. That has to mean the last one. It's no time to get frightened. All right. So cold feet is an expression that means scared or frightened. Good job, you three. Last question, number 5. Make these singular nouns plural. So there's going to be some changing up here of the word shelf to make it shelves. All right, can you spell that for me, Cody? S-H-E-L. Good job, Osborne. V-E-S. You have to drop the F and change it into a V and then add ES. Good job, Cody. Fish. You're up. Trick. Yeah, you got the easy one, Fish. All you have to do, add an S. Tricks are for kids, right? Tricks are for fish. Last, church. Doobie. A little more to this one, right? It's not just adding an S to make it churches. You have to add an ES. Good job, Jacob. Okay. Next page. Popovich. Which conjunction fits best? Wash all of the vegetables, blank slice them for the salad. Yeah, I agree. And slice them for the salad. Or as fancy people say, salad. Just kidding, no one says that. We have very little time before the play starts. Blank, try not to be late. So this is a reason. We have very little time before the play starts. Anytime you have like a reason first, you need to follow it up with Willow. So, right? So try not to be late. So here's the reason. There's not much time left. So you better not be late. Okay, almost done here. 3 or 4 more questions left and we are all done for the day. Michael, choose the word to complete this sentence. The kindergarten class celebrated 1 blank days of school. Well, the only one that makes sense would be 100. 100 days of school. Remember on our 100th day of school, I had to climb through the 0 in the door, and then Mrs. Harris ripped it. Oh man, I miss you guys. Good times. Number 8, Carson. Choose the word that means the same as the underlined words, and then we'll rewrite the sentence. So Smalley, if you don't get into that band this year, you can apply again next year. Apply again would be, well, again means so not reunite, not retake, reapply, right? That's our answer, reapply. So let's rewrite this sentence so that it sounds a little bit better than it did before. If you don't get into the band this year, I'm just going to take this whole thing. I'm just going to draw an arrow for time's sake. Then I'm going to start writing. You can, instead of saying apply again, good, Carson, you can reapply next year, period. All right, good job. I'll give you a second to finish, to catch up on the writing. All right, Mr. Ship, read the sentence. Is it a verb or a noun? So a trip is either a noun, which means it's a thing, or it's an action, like to trip someone. That would be a verb, right? Oops, an action. So what do you think? I will see you when you get back from your trip. Yeah, I agree, Wiley. This would be the noun version, right? It's a thing. It's a vacation. Okay, C or A? A is abstract. C is concrete. Now, think about concrete. If you ever fell on concrete, if you've ever fallen, I mean, on concrete, since this is grammar. If you ever fail on concrete, you know it's hard, right? You can feel it. That's what a concrete noun is, right? You can actually touch it. An abstract noun is just an idea, all right? So, do you have arguments with your sisters or brothers? Sisters is concrete, unless your sister's like Casper and it's a ghost and you can't actually touch it. So a sister is a person, which means it is a concrete noun. All right, boys and girls, you can close your books. Congratulations, you crushed it today. We actually did a lot of work today, and all of it I think is very beneficial to your education. So before I say goodbye, I just want to say 2 things, all right? First thing is don't forget that tomorrow night at 7 o'clock we have our powwow on Google Meet. The second thing that I wanted to tell you is um, that I have been trying to make these daily lessons more fun, and one of the ways I've been doing that, I think, for me at least, is to put short videos at the beginning of you guys so that you can kind of see each other in action outside of school. Now, yesterday I had a video of Emily and Joseph, and today we had Carson doing his milk experiment, and then last week I busted out that great get up video by the girls. So if you have a short video, nothing very long, just like a minute or less, that you think is pretty funny, that you wouldn't mind sharing with the class, have your parents send it to me, okay? They can just send it to my email, and maybe I'll post on Class Dojo that email so it's quick. But I would love to see you guys doing some fun things, whether it's outside or video games or whatever. I don't even care. I just love seeing you guys. I miss you. Send those to me and I'll try. We've got plenty of days left of this distance learning, so plenty of chances to get on and make a cameo appearance. All right. I miss you and I hope that you're doing well. Love you guys. Mr. R is officially out.